Hey family, and per usual, black love, black pride, black power. You gotta know yourself to love your people. Do me a favor and check your ego at the play button, as well as like, comment, and subscribe, but also be sure to cancel that subscription to White Supremacy Weekly. Anyways, this video, we are going to be talking about the idea that black women aren't worth protecting. Um, Look, y'all, just it's come to my attention, not recently, but it's for a long time now, that someone's got to be the accurate voice for dark-skinned black women, because a lot of times we like to pretend like our struggles and stuff doesn't exist, and the people who do try to speak for us do not do so holistically or in ultimate context, and people want to act like they can't understand what the fuck people are saying. And I tend to be really good at helping people to understand things that traditionally are not easy for them to understand. So we're going to talk about this idea that black women are not worth protecting. When we look around at who receives, who is the most abused group of people on the planet, as a whole, black people are the most abused, but specifically black women are the most abused group of people on the planet. There is no getting around that. That is a reality that people are going to have to stop pretending doesn't exist. Now, the reason why black women are the most abused group of people on this planet is because we are the most unprotected group of people on this planet. We're abused because we got Asians putting their hands on us, we got Hispanics snatching us up, putting their hands on us, we got European men putting their hands on us, we got European females, you got any and everybody thinking that they can treat a black woman any kind of way, and the darker you are, the worse it is. I just got done watching a YouTube video where there's a dark-skinned black woman who was a security guard, belligerent drunk white male, was throwing up and shit. You go to bring him a water bottle and he breaks her nose, shatters her eye socket, and some more shit, and just walks away. And with all that shit being said and done, that man had to turn himself in, because niggas wasn't going after him. But when he did turn himself in or whatever, how did he make it to the jailhouse? Where was our army of brothers to go completely fuck that European up for having the audacity to do that to a black woman? Now, there are some of us who'd be like, oh, well, she had no business giving the man a water bottle and some shit and trying to clean up the throw up. Anyway, that wasn't her job. And you have to be one of the most ain't shit ass people on the face of this planet to sit there and allow and find an excuse for another non-African person to shatter the eye socket of and break the bridge of a nose of a black woman for no apparent reason but her being a decent human being. Now, I personally don't give a fuck about these Europeans and stuff anyway, and I personally would have left that man blundering and bubbling away and whatnot, would not have offered him no water, would not have offered to clean up his throw up. I would have called whoever the janitor was, especially if it wasn't a black person, like, hey, you got a mess on your hands. Or I would have said, if the janitor was a black person, I would have told them to hand that European the supplies that he needed to clean up his own stuff. However, but since this was just a woman being nice and being compassionate, even though it was to someone who wasn't deserving, she did not deserve the actions that was treated toward her. But she was completely unprotected, and that European man knew that. There was a black woman getting jumped and dragged out of a nail salon for no real reason by a group of Asian men. There were other black people all up in that nail salon recording the video and saying, oh, that's not right, you guys should stop. But all of those black people in there, including there was a couple of black men in there, nobody not once went and physically tried to help that black woman. That black woman looked a lot like me, except for she had a weave in, but she was dark skinned as well. That just shows how unprotected you are, where there is a room full of backup and nobody is helping you, and everybody is watching that shit happen, and she's specifically asking you guys for help, and all you're doing is still this. Time and time again lately, Men of other races have been getting very bold with me, and oftentimes they want to get bold with me while I'm alone. Every once in a while, they might do it when there's other black people around. Um, I was at Whole Foods with a couple of brothers. And I said, excuse me, to this European dude, and reached for the blueberries to put on my salad. And he had the greatest attitude of all times. Like, I wasn't allowed to get some damn organic blueberries. Well, you got me fucked up. You know, and he starts talking to me all kinds of crazy. And I'm like, hold up now. First off, you could chill. Second off, don't get that ass beat in this Whole Foods. But fortunately, I was with two brothers who wasn't having it. And when that man raised his voice at me, it was the brothers who said, hold up, you're not going to just talk to this one like that. You know? Then again, last summer, around this time actually, I was at a party in Spokane, and I went out with a bunch of IOTAs, which are a black fraternity. I was surrounded by a bunch of dark-skinned black men. I get into the club, and a white man sexually harasses me by grabbing my behind as I am walking past him and his group of people, and he just shrugs it off, and I am furious. The one black dude in this group, you know, saw that. He was like, do you want me to do something? I'm like, hell yeah, I want you to do something about it. You know, at least smack the shit out of him. And he goes and he playfully smacks him or whatever and tells him, you know, not to do it again. But he didn't do nothing for real. And then when I go and tell all the brothers that I came with about it, oh, well, you know, you're at a club and, you know, don't make such a big deal out of it and it's not that serious. But if I was a white girl and some black man had randomly smacked me on my ass and some white man seen that shit and seen that I didn't appreciate it, you best believe it would have been some hell and some high water in that shit. But black women, even surrounded by black men, are unprotected. We see this stuff time and time again, and it's Martin Luther King who got y'all conditioned that this shit's okay. Dr. King was the one sitting there saying it's okay to send our women and our children out there to get brutalized like animals by these people. It was Dr. King who had y'all thinking it was okay to get out, have us out there front line getting hoses and dogs and shit sicked on us, beaten, clubbed up and stuff. You know, yeah, it was him who had y'all thinking that shit was cute. And y'all marched right on along. His ass marching the buddy up a master, hoping he find him a white woman in the closet on the way and shit. You know, and niggas sucks that shit, especially these collegiate black excellence. And it's crazy because the most protected I've ever been has not been around, you know, these black excellence type men. The most protected I've ever been and ever felt and actively been shown that I am protected by is by dropouts, ex-cons, thugs, hood niggas, shit like that. And yeah, they got their fair share of fuckboy women's and ain't shitness too, but at the end of the day, they're not gonna let nothing happen to theirs though. It's in every case I named, it's just a couple. It's just a couple. We see this shit happening to black women, especially dark-skinned black women, all the time, whether they're being murdered or abused or brutalized or disrespected in general. You name it. Black women get the worst of it. And everybody else feels like it's okay because we're not protected. Even the people who are not protecting us sometimes as a culture feels like it's okay to abuse us, to hurt us, to disrespect us, and this, that, and the third, whether it be verbally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you name it, because we're not protected. And that has got to change. You a nigga, you're a black man, African, whatever word you want to use, if you are a African man across the entire diaspora, and you think that you can just waltz on over here and be my friend, be my dude, be my this and that, or anything in case in the third, and when shit hits the fan, your tail is tucked, or I'm not protected, or this and the third, I'm not going to take you seriously, and I'm really not going to fuck with you. A couple of weeks ago, I had a man, a Hebrew Israelite, say he was going to box me, say he was going to fight me, because I can take it. I'm a tough girl. I can handle being punched up on and abused by a 6'3", you know, strong, very fit young man. Excuse me? And even if I could take it, I should not have to. And the cold part of the situation is this man was dead wrong. He was, you know, basically trying to rob me and some more shit, destroy my property and everything. And when I came home, I wanted to keep the situation low key or whatever. But I did tell some brothers about the situation, not so that they can go and like, oh, super pack dude out or whatever, but at least so they can help me find out his last name so that I can get a restraining order or whatever. But when I told these brothers about what happened, unfortunately, what was expected is what happened. Oh, well, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, sis. You know, oh, and you know who this dude is personally. You know who this dude is personally. You know how this dude is at times. You just heard me tell you how this man treated me, and you just gonna sit there and twiddle your thumbs about it. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. You ain't even really with the shit. You not, because you know that everybody wants to talk about this whole black woman is God, black woman queen, black woman this and the third, but have no intention on protecting us. And a lot of y'all have that mentality that we're supposed to be able to protect ourselves. Why do you think that way about us? Check that. Let's get into them Willie Lynch conditions and see why you think that black women, especially dark-skinned black women, are not worth protecting or do not need protecting, do not need defending, because it's false. It's false. We do. You know, a lot of us are pretty badass and can hold some shit down, but it does not change the fact that ultimately we need, even if black women gotta protect each other, god damn, but we need to have people we can go to. I can't go head up with the overgrown ass man of any race. If I have to, I will try, and I will give you the fight of your life. I tell you that you ain't just gonna get my ass, but I am realistic and understanding that I am not probably gonna fare entirely too well in those situations. You know, even with my self-defense training, even with my this and that, I'm going to get pretty fucked up, even if I come out winning or successfully able to get away or whatever the case may be. I have no business going toe-to-toe with men. You know, and yes, we did have African warrior goddesses and whatnot, slaying dude and that third, but they spent their entire life from like teenagers training for that type of shit, okay? Have not. Majority of African women have not. Not everybody is a Dahomey warrior. You know, not everybody, you know, is you know, those female warriors and whatnot. Majority, and even when they did have female warriors, it wasn't every woman in the damn tribe. It was a select, trained, super skilled, you know, group, which is fine. Not saying that black women as a group are not capable of being strong enough to hold shit down and whatnot. We do that anyway, but that does not exempt and exclude our men from the responsibility of being that first line of defense. You know, a lot of women who are warriors were only so in case, or, you know, if the men lost or the men couldn't come back and protect, you know, we were the last line of defense. Most tribes who had women warriors, not all, but most, the women were the last line of defense. You know, we should not, but yet when you see everything going down, it's always black women, normally dark-skinned black women, out there on the front lines. That's not our place. Maybe for a small handful, sure, but in general, it's clearly not our place, because we're ending up dead. We're ending up with hospital bills. We're ending up left laid out in the street. We're ending up still losing these court cases where people are deliberately, you know, and clearly at fault and whatnot. So I went over. I'm sorry, and I got a little emotionally involved, but I want you guys to please think about that. We have to change this psychology. We have to go back to seeing the value in African women, continentally and diasporically, and especially dark-skinned African women, because even though all black women, which, you know, 2 black parents, 4 black grandparents, or at least 3 black grandparents, all of us are, you know, are still a part of the least protected group of people on the planet. But we know that lack of protection, that vulnerability, and that the attacks are normally generated towards and taken out on the darkest of us. And that's just what it is. We need our warriors. We need to be protected. We need to be defended. We need y'all to stop being some pussy punk ass bitches and to really be with the shit and know that we are worth defending, because we are. African women, we are worth defending, baby. Don't ever think that that's not the case. And don't ever think that a man can be absolved of that responsibility of protecting and providing for you, because you are worth it. We are worth it. I said what I said. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to bring this one to a close. Per usual, Black love, Black pride, Black power. You have to know yourself, to love your people. And cancel those subscriptions to White Supremacy Weekly, and like, comment, and subscribe, and share. Always share my videos. Oh yeah, and check those egos at the play button. Thank you, hunty. Love you, fam. Peace.